Hello, we have so much going on today that my head is spinning. We've got new products, we've got a kit we're going to open and design with, we've got just all sorts of things to talk about. We've got a great BOGO sale that just launched today at www.softlickscompany.com. So let's kick it off by talking about this BOGO sale. So if you go to our website and you purchase any of our crimping pliers, our micros, our regulars, or our mighties, you're going to get the free matching crimps to go with that particular crimping plier. So say you choose the micro. They work with the 1x1 millimeter crimp tubes. So you're going to get a free package of Softlex 1x1 millimeter crimp tubes to go with the crimping plier. We're also doing a great BOGO where if you buy the Winter Wonderland Trio, which was brand new last month or at the beginning of this month, you will get the bead mix for free. We have a really limited supply on these bead mixes because we took some to Tucson. So if you want this particular item, I would definitely buy this quickly before we sell out of what we have left here at home. So you get a free bead mix. The other BOGO we're doing with Winter Wonderland, if you buy the bead mix, which is like how much is it? Maybe it's $10.50 or something along those lines. You will get a free tassel. These tassels retail at $5.99. So buy the bead mix and you're basically going to get it half off by getting a free tassel with it. These are Egyptian cotton tassels. They're beautiful, large tassels. A lot of the Design Challenge entries that I saw use them as purse tassels and they looked amazing. So you buy one bead mix, you get a free tassel. So we got that going on the website, and then just like because we can't quite keep up with everything, we've also got two new trios that loaded earlier this week or end of last week. These are the trios that will work with my By the Sea bracelet that's on PBS's Beads Baubles and Jewels. It has the very fine and it has the medium, both sizes that you would need. And then also you can use it with a wrap bracelet. If you've seen some of my wrap bracelets where I do a thicker wire on the outside and then I wrap through the beads with a thinner, very fine wire, you can also use it for that too. So we've got two of those available, black and white. And yeah, and then of course, next month's kit is called Purple Rain. So we really looked at the album cover for Purple Rain, and it's a really beautiful mixture. I think you guys are going to really love this one. If you're a purple person, I highly suggest this particular kit. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. And there's some good surprises and things in it that I think you'll really enjoy. So that's up for sale on the website as well. Let's flip down and start talking about Cupid's Kiss, which is what we are going to be doing today. Hi, everybody. Oh, good, Rosanna. I'm glad you just got there and ordered it. I'm going to flip you guys up just a little bit. My tripod is kind of funny today. It's like a little higher than normal. I think James was using it. Okay, so he must like a little more height, whereas I like to be able to see what you guys are saying. All right, so this month's kit is our Cupid's Kiss kit. This particular kit is totally sold out. We have no more left, but there is a portion of it that you can still buy that we get an overrun on, and I'll go over that as we open it. So if you've never seen one of our kits before, we try to incorporate in everything you need to make jewelry. So there's wire, there's clasps, there's ear wires, crimps, and of course beads. Oh, are you blurry? Is everybody else blurry too? Here, let me see if I can. Is that better? Did that clear it up a little bit? I'm going to start unwrapping. So Cupid's Kiss is obviously based off of Valentine's Day. We wanted to sneak it in here a couple weeks before Valentine's so you can start making things and get in the Valentine spirit as we move into Valentine's season. So in this kit, what you found, hello to all my fellow beading people. Oh, Rosanna says, wasn't sure if she'd make it today. Oh, good. The furloughed government is back to work, so that's good. But you're very busy, I imagine. Yeah. Oh, Mary's good. Nice. Nice to hear, everybody. And remember, if you want to share and like this video, by next Tuesday, you'll get entered to win a trio of your choice. So definitely do that too if you want to win a trio. So let's start out with the color of the month. Pink Tourmaline Softflex. This is one of my favorite colors of Softflex because it's such a rich pink. It's a really lovely, I don't know, it's not like bright pink like Pink Rhodochrosite. It's just like a little bit calmer, but just really, really lovely and fun to work with. One of my favorite fun colors. And I got these really cool beads from a friend of mine. They're called Pink Travertine is the color. And we've got these ones which are kind of like a three-sided a bead, like a three-sided, kind of like a pinch bead. The hole is going to run from here to here. There will be lots of options with those. And then these cool guys have kind of a carved out side, which I thought was awesome. And then I thought these would be super fun because they have two holes. And you know, I'm always a sucker for a two-hole bead. And they actually have like kind of like little spikes, which I thought was really cool. So I'm really hopeful we can use those in something today. Let's see, what else do we have in here? We've got some beautiful just pink rounds, which are going to be great for splitting up the beads. We've got some clear, kind of also sort of round, but they have a little bit more of a texture to them to work with. And then also some clear long beads. I like how these have kind of a rainbow look, which is fun. A bit of a rainbow. James threw in some lavender tubing that he thought might be fun for people to play around with. So we got some tubing. The findings today are gold. So we've got gold filled 2x2 millimeter crimp tubes in here, which are our priciest of crimp tubes. So this is a really nice thing that we are able to do. And then we've got a bunch of findings. We've got some ear wires. Looks like we've got 2 pairs of ear wires. We've got some really nice little gold head pins. We've got some gold jump rings and a lobster clasp. And then these pieces came from Tiara Cast. So we've got a really cute little gold lock and then just a couple of little gold heart charms that were in the findings kit. So lots of goodies to work with there. I'm just gonna set these down where we can find them if we need them later. And then we've got some seed beads. We've got kind of a lavender colored bugle bead, some little round clear seed beads, which are great for spacers. And finally, we've got our Jesse James custom created Cupid's Kiss bead mix in here as well. These bead mixes are always an overrun for us in making these bead kits, so we almost always have extras. And this particular bead mix is still available, actually just became available on the website. So you can find this bead mix online right now. It's a perfect match to our Be My Valentine trio. And so we didn't do a new trio this month because we just frankly didn't feel like we needed to, because this matched so perfectly. So if you're looking for great wire colors to go with your Cupid's Kiss bead mix, definitely check out the Be My Valentine trio. And a couple other good Valentine trios while we're at it are Mystical, which has more of a purpley tone to it. And then we also have Romance, which has got that bright pink rhodochrosite, white, and then garnet. But I feel like this is definitely the best match for this particular bead mix. I mean, it's almost like it was created with this trio in mind, but it wasn't. It just happened that way. All right, so all that stuff can be found on our website, which is, of course, www.softluxcompany.com. So do you see what I mean? We have like a ton going on today, you guys. We've got great BOGO sales. We've got new trios. We've got new kits. We've got new bead mix. I mean, it really is making my head kind of explode, to tell you the truth. Okay, so here's what's in our bead mix from Jesse James Beads this month. All sorts of pretty stuff. Look at this tassel. Look at how pretty this little tassel is. Is the lavender tubing on sale on the Softluxe site? It is not, but I'm sure we have more and we can probably sell you some. What you would want to do is email info@softluxcompany.com and James will pick that up. Well, he's leaving for Tucson tomorrow, but I'll work it out with someone here, Rosa or Shelly or somebody. We've got these cute little pink floral tassels. This is all in that bead mix, the Cupid's Kids bead mix and then of course it was in our beautiful monthly kit. We've got these cool little charms. Look at how cool these are. I'm gonna make the sweetest earrings with these little Cupid arrows. And what else is in this? So many good things. I love these little lovebirds. Aren't they adorable? So cute. And then they threw in a couple of little Swarovski beads and a sweet little heart, some little metal hearts. Got a few of those. I'm just kind of sorting so we can kind of get an idea. If you've never been to a design challenge, I start off with absolutely no idea what I'm gonna make. And hopefully you guys kind of help me along in the process in making something really cool and special. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make something from all this fantastic stuff inside our Cupid's Kiss kit. And then if you wanna join us next month, you buy next month's kit, which is Purple Rain. Okay, so I definitely wanna use these and they called to me first. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out these cute little Cupid arrows because I could just die. They're so adorable. And then we know we're gonna need an ear wire to make earrings. And now I just kind of have to decide. I mean, I'm tempted to just kind of add maybe a tassel here at the top. Does that take away from the little thing though? Maybe it should just be at the bottom here. I kind of want a bead somewhere though. It feels weird to not have any beads on my arrow, but they can get kind of long if I add a bead here at the top. But let's try it and see. We never know till we try. So I'm going to open up my Softluxe beading wire. This is our medium diameter. It's the most commonly used diameter of Softluxe that we carry. And I am going to pull out some wire from it. This is, of course, the pink tourmaline that came in the Cupid's Kiss kit. We also sell it individually. And I didn't get any of my tools out yet. Unbelievable. Let me grab my tool bag. And my crimps, of course. I pulled them out for James and then I put them back away when I got to working here. So I'm going to use my magical crimpers and then my cutters. Grab those. All right. So we're using a 2x2 millimeter crimp tube today. This is the perfect size for medium soft flex. It's the most commonly used size of a crimp tube. And I'm just going to take a little bit of wire here, string it inside of my crimp tube, and come back in again. So I'm basically creating a little ring that I can then attach to my earring wire. So I'm going to make it a little loose. I don't need it to be a really tight ring, but I don't want it to be really, really big either. You know, just kind of an average size. I'm going to center my crimp tube inside our magical crimpers, which you can also find on our website. They only work with 2x2 millimeter crimp tubes, but although it says 018 and 019 on the side, these crimping pliers actually work with other diameters of wire too. The best rule of thumb though is that you want quite a bit of wire running through the tube so that it has enough nylon coating that it can really anchor down. So if you're using a finer diameter, for example, like 014, which is finer than the medium that I'm using here, you would want to run some extra wires through it just to make sure that there's enough wire for it to really hold on to. So after my first pass, I should have what looks like sort of like a little square ravioli. I'm going to turn it on its side in my crimping plier and I'm going to compress in those four corners. And then I'm just going to go around and around it. Again, we try to do all of our monthly kits so that somebody who's brand new to beading can give beading a try. All you're going to need are some basic tools like magical crimpers, a pair of basic cutters, and then the kit itself will have everything else you need: crimps, beads, clasps. You know, we really want to encourage not only people that, you know, already use our products and buy these kits regularly. We love you, all of you, of course, but we want to encourage brand new people to try beading because it's so much fun and it's such an easy hobby for anybody to learn. So if you feel like you're not creative, I hear that a lot. Especially, you know, the older we get, I think the more we kind of rule out creativity. I just opened up my ear wire. I'm going to slide my wire on it. Creativity isn't something that just some of us have. Creativity, in my opinion, is something that anyone can foster. And I feel like that's especially true in something like jewelry making, where the basics, you know, are so pretty easy. Just about anybody can do it, including kids, people of all ages, you know, and all abilities, really. So I strung my bead on, and you can see this color will actually even sort of filter through the bead because it's a darker pink than the pink of the bead, which is super fun. And I'm just going to take another one of those 2x2 millimeter crimp tubes. And this time I'm going to actually attach to my cute little Cupid arrow from the Cupid's Kiss bead mix. And I'm just going to pull this so that it's pretty close to even on both sides, meaning the loop on each side looks pretty similar. And then I uncrossed my wires, and I'm just going to tug a little bit closer in to my bead just to get as close to it as I can. And then I'll do that same crimping technique that I used before, compressing the crimp tube inside of the plier till I get what looks like a little four-corner ravioli. And then I'm gonna teach, or I'm gonna turn. I read the word teach and spoke at the same time. You can see you guys are talking. So I was so impressed by all of the entries for our last kit, which was Winter Wonderland. What we do is after the live show, all of you that have this particular kit, Cupid's Kiss, are invited to post pictures of your designs using the kit on our VIB Softflex group. And every single design that you post is an entry. I just opened up that little guy. I'm going to slide it on. Is an entry to win our next available kit. And Winter Wonderland was amazing. There were so many great designs. It was very inspiring to see what all of you were making. So we're going to invite you to do that same thing again with Cupid's Kiss. I didn't look at the calendar and choose a date, but I'll post the final date for when those entries should be in. It'll probably be about 3 weeks from now. For you guys to have enough time to like work with it and see what it's like. So I feel like this is a little long. I might play around with the length of it a little bit and decide if I like it or not after the live show. But I do really love this cute little arrow. It's so adorable. So adorable. Okay, so let's move on to something else. I really wanted to use these cool 2-hole beads. So I'd like to take a look at those and think about what we could do. These little guys might be kind of cool between them. And then I really liked this charm too. So if we can work that in somehow, I would really like that. I could see this being kind of cool in the center, like 2 wires going through. So what I'm gonna need if I'm making a bracelet is I'm gonna need 2 wires. So I'm just gonna cut a really generous length because I can. And I'm gonna look for some bead stoppers here in my bag, and we will start working on a cool little bracelet. Here we go. Can't live without your bead stoppers. I'm going to use a bright yellow bead stopper today. Because who doesn't need a little sunshine in the middle of winter, right? Okay, so I'm not sure what I'm doing per usual. So I'm going to start in the middle and kind of work my way out. And I kind of think I want this bead in the center because I do like this really cool bead from the bead mix. And I was kind of thinking, what would this be like if I were to let the wire peek out? If you can't see what I'm doing, remember you can always swipe the comments off the page to see better. And I'm just going to move some of this up out of the way. Yeah, so I was thinking that would be kind of cool. Let's expose the wire a little bit between the beads. And we could do a couple of things here. We could go back to doing 2 wires through 1 bead, like from this pink bead mix if we wanted. Let's try it and see. Ooh, this would be pretty too. These kind of white oval beads are kind of fun. Could do something like that. Or if you used the pink. Another thing I really like to do sometimes when I have like a 2-hole bead like this is I will break out my seed beads. I'm just gonna clip this open. And you could put a seed bead. This is always fun too, that it's a clear seed bead on this pink wire, because you can really see the wire color kind of pop through, which is fun. So I could do a clear seed bead and then do, I would have to break it up a little bit more because I don't think I have enough of these 2-hole beads to go around my whole wrist. But maybe so you could do something like that where you're separating them out and you can see them a little bit better by just adding a little seed bead spacer in between. I kind of like that. Oh, Sue says Nilay's here. Hi, Nilay. I was just talking about your really cool design that you did on YouTube yesterday. Let's see. I'm gonna just do a couple more of this just to see how it kind of plays out. If we can get one side done, then I can always finish the other side after the live show and post a picture. I like these little pyramid, 2-hole pyramid beads. They're so fun. So this is kind of where I'm going. Maybe I should break it up a little bit now that I've done 3 and go through something else. Let's see where this fits on my wrist. So I'm going to get to a clasp actually fairly quickly. Maybe I will just leave that as a center. Let me get a couple more beads on. Oh, Nilay, I love watching and hearing you design too. It's like we can be together for just a short time. I've been trying to convince Nilay to come visit me here in Sonoma, and I think I had him convinced, and then I had to cancel the dates. So I'm hoping we can still work out some different dates that'll work so we can bead together again soon. Okay, so all the stuff I'm using today is from the sold out Cupid's Kiss kit, but we have a brand new kit for sale today, and you can still get the smaller version, the bead mix. We have a very limited supply of bead mixes though, so those won't be around for very long. Right, so that's looking pretty good. I like the little separation between the beads. I like the different centerpiece there. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is I'm gonna go ahead and attach my clasp. I'm just gonna check one more time. If this is the center, I go to my wrist and I have my clasp, it should be plenty of space. And I could actually use one of these fun jump rings too that James threw in. Let me see if this is an open. Oh, this is a closed jump ring. Interesting. Good to know. Okay, so I'm going to get my 2x2 gold-filled crimp. And here's how you do 2 wires into 1 crimp. I'm going to take both wires and string my crimp tube and bring it down to the end. So it's going to look the same on both sides. I didn't do any seed beads on this side, so I'm not going to do any seed beads on this side. But one thing you want to make sure when you're doing a 2-hole bead is that you're not kind of slouching one direction or the other, like this is really long and this one's really short. Make sure it's even on both ends. And then I'm going to take one of the wires and pass it into the lobster clasp. And then I'll go back into my crimp tube for a 3rd pass with just that 1 wire. So 3 of this 019 diameter will fit through a 2x2 millimeter crimp tube. It won't go through 4 times. So that is kind of an important thing to note. And then I will go ahead and grab my magical crimpers. And when I feel like it's in a really good spot, like I'm completely done, I can go ahead and crimp. I know closed jump rings are really nice because you can trust that things aren't going to slip out of them. I had been thinking about sliding this this cute little charm on it though, this little heart charm, and so that's not going to work. I'm going to have to figure out a new way to attach that, which is fine. And I'll just go around it, tightening it down. Then I'll slip my cutters in next to that crimp tube and trim. And then the other side, which I'll do off camera probably, is gonna attach just at this closed jump ring. So I'll use that as my attachment on the other side. And I'm just gonna bead the same items up the other side. The trick here is how will I decide to attach this? So I think what I'll do is I'll make a soft flex jump ring, which is always fun. It's a nice way to make a closed jump ring with a wire color that you're already using. Wahoo! Denise is here live. Good job, Denise. So I'm going to string my 2x2mm crimp tube again onto, oh, these clippings are good for earrings. Very good eye there, Sue. So I'm going to string my 2x2mm crimp tube on here again. I'm going to go through my cute little locket, and then I'm attaching, I think I'll attach, I want to say I should just attach to this ring actually. I think that might be the best. So I'm going to attach to the jump ring for the other side of the design, and I'll just feed my wire back into the tube and make a round circle. You don't want to get so small that your crimping pliers won't easily fit inside that ring. So don't get too small. I would say the size of the jump ring itself is probably a good size. And then just for a little added strength to keep it a nice little circle, I'm going to go through one more pass with my pink tourmaline wire, and I will just pull on both sides till I get it to about the size I want. Again, being mindful, you got to get your crimping plier inside there. So that's what that's looking like. I'm going to slide inside my crimping plier and compress. And this is the tricky way. You got to get it in this way too. So if it gets too small, it can be kind of hard to maneuver your pliers into there. So once that's all crimped, I can just trim. You can of course do just one time around. It's a little messier looking with two, but it holds the circle just like a little bit better. So I tend to do two more often than one. And then this can kind of attach there. So when I come back around on the other side of my bracelet, we'll have that hanging off of the jump ring. It's such a cute little charm from Tiara Cast. Oh, Kimmy says, I've really enjoyed designing with this kit. I need not even that much into the pink. Oh, but this was a fun kit for you. That's good. Yeah, there's a lot of options here. And pink's just so fun for Valentine's Day, I think. So don't forget, all you purple lovers, if you love purple, Purple Rain is up next. It's on sale on our website now, and we have about the same number of kits as we did Cupid's Kiss, so they should be available for a few weeks. But Design Day, did I put it on here? No, I put it over here. Design Day is the last Wednesday of February, which is February 27th. So about 4 weeks from now, we'll be designing with Purple Rain. All right. right, so I've got a bracelet, I've got a pair of earrings, and I've got like 1,000 beads left, so I'm sure we can come up with one more fun design. I'm gonna put aside what I need. I'm really kind of in love with these little oval beads. I would like to use those. And then of course we've got the cool tubing. I'm curious to see, what does the tubing look like when it has pink tourmaline inside of it? Oh yeah, cool. It makes it kind of a darker purple color, which is fun. See that pink tourmaline? Cool, I like it. So there's that to work with, and then of course these are fun, and I love these little lovebirds. Who doesn't love a lovebird? I mean, really, this would be kind of cute to pair up together. So I'm thinking about doing just kind of like a fun, quick necklace with the pink tourmaline, of course. So I'm trying to decide, how would I go about doing this? You want to have the right bead with something like this. There's only 2 of these, so it's going to be just like the bottom of the bead here. And these are kind of fun too. And the ovals are fun. Let's get an oval in. One of these guys. Just kind of starting to put together what I might make using all these fun, sweet beads. We've got some darker pinks over here too that we can throw in. And there's a bunch of these, so we could actually throw in one between each, just to give it a little bit of a darker, it'll match the wire a little better. Something like that. I'm liking it. This cute little heart maybe up here at the top. All right, so let's test it out and see. So often things work well in theory. And then when you get to making it, you're like, oh, that did not work as well as I hoped. Okay, so first and foremost, I've got 2 little guys down here that I need to attach, and I'd like to figure out a way to attach them that I really like. This might even be kind of fun, but it has crystals on the side, so let's leave that. Let's leave that way. Okay, so I'm going to grab some wire out. And I think we'll do the same thing. I think we'll make a jump ring for these guys using the pink tourmaline soft flex. Let me grab another crimp tube. If you're going to Tucson, it starts this weekend, and we will be at the 2 Bead True Blue show. I personally will not be there, but you will find, oh, I'm going to use a silver. You will find Thomas and James there this weekend, and the next week, Thomas and James will be switching out with Kristen. And also, if you're familiar with Lucy, she helps us in Tucson every year and has for several years now. She'll be in our booth most of the time as well. So lots of good help there. They're going to be streaming live, hopefully. We haven't tested it yet, but they're hopefully going to be streaming live onto our Facebook page every morning at 9:30 Mountain Time, which is 8:30 Pacific Time, California time, but it's 9:30 there in Arizona. And they're going to stream a variety of demonstrations that they are showing there at the show. So I'm doing the same thing I did earlier. I'm making a jump ring using soft flex, and I'm running it through twice. So I'm just going to keep talking while I do it, since you already saw me do it a little bit ago. Same thing as before. Yeah, so you're going to be able to see, it'll be James and it'll be Kristen Rochelle is saying, wish I could go. And that's part of why we wanted to stream daily from Tucson, is to give you that opportunity to just kind of see what they're up to. They'll show us some of the things that they purchase, and talk about some of our fellow vendors there. And then they'll be showing a demonstration each day as well. So I hope you guys will tune in 8:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Mountain time, to catch whatever James or Kristen are talking about that day. And it should actually be for like, I think it's 10 days or something that we're there. From the 2nd to, maybe somebody, one of my coworkers out there can help me out with the dates. So I don't have them here in front of me. So I was just wiggling my wire out so I can get it in closer to cut right up next to that crimp tube. And James will be doing a lot of wire work projects, and Kristen will be doing more of her free spirit beading. So some days she may be doing kumihimo, other days she might be knitting on a spool. It'll probably be whatever she kind of feels like doing that day. Okay, so there we go. We've got our cute little lovebirds attached now to our heart, using our soft flex wire to make a little jump ring. And now I'm just going to get a long length of soft flex to string some beads and kind of play around with how it all looks. So I know I want this in the center, so let's kind of string up from there and see what we think. And I usually start on one side and then decide how I like it, and then I work my way back up the other side once I've decided, oh, okay, I like this, it looks good. I wanted to add in, this bead is such like a perfect, this little round bead is the perfect color with the pink tourmaline. I just realized that James turned my light off, my extra light. That'll probably help a little bit if I turn that back on. Okay, so we've got that. I was gonna do this one. Oh, the pink and pink is a little bit much there. I might want to break that up just a little bit more, but I'm gonna continue just to see how all these beads lay next to each other and make a decision that way. So this is what we've got here so far. You can see our little lovebirds here in the center, and then I would just bead that same mixture up the other side. I do feel like I want to break up right here by using one of these little check beads from the bead mix. So I'm gonna off ramp these guys, and I'm gonna add one more bead to break up the pinks just a little bit more, make it stand out a little bit more. My beads. Yeah, so I'm totally bummed I don't get to go to Tucson this year, but it just didn't make sense because we have such a great team that's already in place in Arizona. And so it's not meant to be, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and string on the other side. So in order to do that, I am going to grab myself a bead stopper. And if you didn't see how that worked, it just pops right on, holds everything in place. You can have 1,000 bead stoppers and still need more. They're very handy little things for holding your designs in place until you are finished with them. And I'm just doing kind of a short necklace today, so don't need too much wire. I'm gonna have to do a clasp of some sort too. Okay, so we've got one side. I'm gonna string the other side because I just kind of want to see that it does look okay. I wanted to see how these would lay specifically. And this is pretty much how I bead. I just play around with it until I feel happy with what I'm looking at. Sometimes after a live show, you'll probably notice I go back in and fidget with it some more, but I don't want to hold you guys here with me while I'm doing that. But it's okay to take your time. That's half the fun of beading, is just the experience itself, not just what you make, but the experience of just enjoying creating, enjoying your time. It's my favorite hobby by far. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this layout, and I'm just going to crimp a little crimp bead on either side to hold all the beads in place on the wire, and then I'll just let this wire run up the back end and be part of design hostages. Exactly. It does feel like that way sometimes. Oh, these poor people must have something better to do than watching me fiddle around with my beadwork. Sue says, sometimes I'll string several pieces and then put clasps on. So she definitely uses the bead stoppers. Yeah, Kate Richburg has a really great suggestion that I've heard her state a few times over on the beadshop.com live videos of stepping away before you actually finish a design so that you have time to sort of reflect and make sure that it's exactly how you want it to be. And I think that's a really nice suggestion. So bead stoppers are helpful for that. If you need to step away for a few minutes, take a deep breath, get ready to finish it. That way you don't make any mistakes, because if you're gonna make a mistake, usually it will be at the end when you're sort of rushing to finish it. So what you probably just saw me do, but I didn't say it, is I took a little extra piece of wire to sit inside that crimp tube. And I'm just gonna slide my crimping plier up against my beads, center the crimp tube inside of the crimping plier, and compress. And I'm gonna do that on all sides of that crimp. So I'm compressing my 2 by 2 millimeter crimp from a tube into a little round bead. I'm going to trim right off, and I'll trim on both sides so no one will ever know that extra wire is in there, but it just gives you a little bit of added nylon coating to grab onto to hold those beads into place. Sue says that extra wire technique for crimping is worth its weight in gold. Save your bits. Good idea. Yeah, you can always save like these little tiny guys. Just put them in a baggie, set them aside, and then they'll be ready to go when you need to use them to crimp on both sides. Rochelle says, yes, Kate usually waits until the next day to attach clasps. Yeah, I think that's really smart. And if you've got something like a bead stopper where you can just kind of put it aside, you know, put one on both sides, set it apart, you know, work on a few different designs, 3 or 4, set them all down, and then maybe do all the clasps at the same time the next day, you're much less likely to make a mistake. So I'm going to use this little tiny guy here as my little second wire, and I'm going to just slide up, but I also want to kind of test. You don't want it to be so tight that this doesn't have like a natural curve in it, so make sure you curve it as you're crimping so that you're giving it enough wiggle room that it can bend nicely. And then I'll go ahead and crimp. And I'll just attach a clasp on the back end. It doesn't look like I have a silver clasp in here because most of the findings were gold. So I will just find a simple little silver lobster claw or something to put on the back end of this sweet little guy. And I will post pictures of everything that I made today on the Softflex VIB group, and I look forward to seeing all of the designs that you are making with Cupid's Kiss. I will post the date for when those designs are due to be posted, and then we will of course pick a winner for our next kit. We do not pick best design. Every single design you post is an entry, and we simply do a random number. Basically, we make a list, do a random number choice, and that's how we pick the winner, because we think everything you guys make is amazing, and it would be too hard to choose best of. So we like to just keep it simple. Don't forget about all the cool things we have for sale. We've got our brand new Purple Rain. We've got the bead mix that you saw some of today. Cupid's Kiss is up for sale on the website and goes perfectly with Be My Valentine trio. We've got the new black and white trios, which are great for wrap bracelets, and also for the By the Sea bracelet that I just did on Beads Baubles and Jewels, which you can find on your local PBS channel or public television station channel. And yeah, and then if you buy your Winter Wonderland trio this week, you get a free Winter Wonderland bead mix. And if you buy a Winter Wonderland bead mix, you get a free, huge, beautiful tassel. And same with crimps. If you buy regular crimping pliers, mighty crimping pliers, or micro crimping pliers, you get the matching crimp with the crimping pliers. So much going on. We can't keep up. Our truck for Tucson left yesterday, and they'll be setting up on Friday, opens on Saturday at To Be True Blue. Saturday morning, James should be streaming live if everything goes to plan, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, so that would be 9:30 Mountain Time, 10:30 Central Time, 11:30 East Coast Time, and he will be there every day for a few days, and then Kristen will take over, and she'll be there every day for a few days. So that's going to be so fun to see what they're doing there in Tucson, and check out their demonstrations. I hope you guys really, really enjoy that. It's lovely to see all of you here today, and I will see all of you guys next week. See you later. Bye.